What kind of person hijacks your front yard for their own glory, then cries VY Tim when you turn their spotlight into a mirror? Let me tell you about Susan Carter, the queen bee of the Willow Creek HOA, who thought my lawn was her personal stage until I played her dirtiest secrets for the whole neighborhood to see. It all started with an email that hit my inbox like a punch I didn't see coming. Susan, who dubbed herself the Neighborhood Unity Captain, announced a mandatory MOVYE night to bring us closer. I was halfway through my morning coffee when I saw the location, my front yard. No heads up, no permission, just Susan, with her bleached smile and a will of steel, claiming my private property for her latest ego trip. By noon, glossy flyers were plastered across the cul-de-sac, and a Google Calendar in VYT ping. MOVYE Night Extravaganza, hosted by Susan Carter. Stakes were already being driven into my flower beds, holding up a tacky banner with her name in neon pink glitter, dwarfing the event title. I marched outside, heart pounding, to find Susan barking orders at teens setting up chairs and extension cords like she was directing a Hollywood blockbuster. "Don't worry, you'll love it," she chirped, her grin dripping with condescension. "Your lawn's perfect, hon," as if sweet-talking me gave her the right to my land. She waved the HOA handbook, pointing to some vague, communal events, clause. I checked later it only applied to public parks, not my home. But Susan didn't care about facts. My protests only made her smile wider, like she fed off my frustration. By dusk, my yard was a zoo. Kids stomped through my tulips. Strangers scuffed my walkway. Susan, decked out in a sequined, event star sash, handed me a clipboard. "Your parking coordinator," she declared, posting it on the HOA's Facebook group like I'd signed up. I said no, but she ignored me, picking a sappy romance flick to drown out any pushback. She'd roped Mr. Thompson, a neighbor with an inflatable screen, into setting it up half on my driveway, of course, to save space, while keeping her pristine lawn next door untouched. Pizza boxes and soda cans piled up on my grass like a slap in the face. Susan's pre-MOVYE speech was all about her. VY Shaun, tossing me a half-hearted "thanks for the lawn," as if I'd begged to host. Her speakers rattled my windows, and she announced a suggested donation for future events, stuffing cash into a sparkly fanny pack. She was profiting off my property, turning my home into her bank, her throne, her circus. I was LVYD. She thought I was helpless. She was dead wrong. 2 days later, Susan upped the ante. A laminated poster was taped to my mailbox, a summer MOVYE series, all on my lawn. Themes like Pajama Party for Grease and Green Face Paint for Shrek were listed, with dress codes like my garden was her personal film festival. Her Facebook event, Susan's Lawn Cinema, called me the gracious host, again. I confronted her, voice calm but burning. "It's tradition now," she cooed, accusing me of killing community spirit. Her email blast warned of unsupportive homeowners, ruining neighborhood joy, painting me as the bad guy. Texts from neighbors begged me to share. Mrs. Larson left a voicemail praying for my selfishness. Susan's nerve hit new heights. Solar lights lined my walkway. For safety, arrows were chalked on my driveway, and she announced popcorn sales to fund her event coordinator stipend, a salary for herself, off my land. A box of cowboy hats and bandanas showed up on my porch for a western night, with a note. "Saddle up, partner!" This wasn't just trespassing. It was a full-on invasion. Rage turned to clarity. I dug through public records, fueled by coffee and spite. Susan's divorce from 6 months back was a Goldman Court VY Deos online, raw and unfiltered. She ranted about her ex's spiritual sabotage, sobbed over losing her meditation retreat fund, tied to a shady MLM scheme, and accused her cousin of stealing her due-law $15,000 designer purse collection. She lied under oath, fired lawyers for VY Bess, and screamed at the judge about patriarchal conspiracies. It was a 47-minute train wreck of narcissism, perfect for her adoring community to see. I edited the clips, adding captions. Scene 1, Susan's cash lies. Scene 5, Susan's crystal healing meltdown. It was legal, public, and brutal. Susan wanted my lawn as her theater. I'd make it her reckoning. I planned my move for her next event, a frozen night. I printed flyers in HOA style. Special community tribute screening at sunset. I stuffed them in mailboxes, pinned them to bulletin boards, and posted online, letting Susan think I was hyping her event. She commented, "Love the enthusiasm. Frozen fun." Clueless. I tested the projector, rearranged chairs, and set up a cookie table with a sign. "Enjoy the pre-VYEW." As dusk fell, neighbors poured in, kids with glow sticks, adults chatting. Susan was late, off grabbing dry ice for her snow cone side hustle. Perfect timing. I grabbed a megaphone. "Welcome to a special tribute before tonight's film." Chairs filled, popcorn crunched. I dimmed the lights and hit play. The screen flared to life. "Susan, a community journey." Murmurs spread as Susan appeared, wailing in court about her exes. Or a theft. Silence hit, then gasps, then giggles. Her lies, her tantrums, her obsession with chakra alignments played in sharp detail. By the essential oils pyramid scheme. Clip, laughter roared. I stood back, soaking it in. At the 25-minute mark, Susan rolled up, tiara glinting, arms full of snow cone gear. She froze, seeing herself on screen, accusing her ex of cosmic betrayal. Her jaw dropped, supplies crashing to the ground. The crowd went quiet, eyes ping-ponging between us. I handed her a lemonade. "Welcome to MOVYE night, Susan. Enjoy the pre-VYUs." She stood, paralyzed, as her court meltdown echoed. Then she snapped, lunging for the projector, screaming, "Turn it off!" Kids cried. I blocked the cord, smiling. "Public record, Susan. Community spirit, right?" Mr. Thompson, a retired lawyer, piped up. "No defamation in court docs, darling." The crowd cackled. Susan called 911, ranting about slander and lemonade ambushes. Cops showed up, expecting a riot, but found Susan shrieking under her own divorce footage. I showed them my flyers, VYDEO sources, and HOA bylaws. The officer bit back a grin. "It's public, ma'am. He's clean." Susan sobbed, claiming I was bullying her, but her on-screen rant about VY brational warfare tanked her credibility. "Leave, or you're cited for disturbance," the cop said. Susan glared, tiara crooked, and stormed off, snow cone machine abandoned. The crowd clapped a slow, then thunderous ovation. I bowed, cutting the projector, letting the screen collapse like Susan's ego. The aftermath was electric. Texts flooded in, neighbors GIVYing me knowing winks. The HOA board, sniffing trouble, called an emergency meeting. Susan showed up, decked out in pearls, but the room was frosty. Mrs. Jenkins rattled off complaints: unauthorized events, property damage, zero financial transparency. "You embarrassed us," the president snapped. Susan's plea to reorganize was crushed. Thompson cited bylaws allowing her removal for misconduct. Complaints stacked up: intimidation, fund misuse. The vote was unanimous. Susan was stripped of all roles, barred from events without approval. She cried, mascara running, as Thompson pushed for a public audit of her donations. It passed. The audit uncovered $18,500 in misappropriated funds, fake invoices, checks to herself. The board demanded repayment or lawsuits, sending EVY Denke for criminal re-VYEW. Susan's house got a lien, her accounts frozen. The neighborhood turned her into a punchline, memes of her in a tiara behind bars. Carefree. Signs replacing her garden plaque. Her protests fizzled, her spiritual persecution claims laughed off. Representing herself in court, she rambled about parallel dimensions, earning fines. Her neglected house foreclosed. She fled to a condo, peddling essential oils, rejected by new communities. Our neighborhood? It thrived. We threw parties, planted gardens, funded a playground all without Susan's claws. We bought a shared screen for Park Movie nights, no cash pocketed. On the anniversary of the showdown, we watched Pixar shorts, kids running wild, no speeches. Susan's name was a running gag, her tiara a Halloween prop. I didn't ruin her, she did. Her ego was her only enemy. Sipping hot chocolate, I grinned. She wanted my lawn as her stage. I gave her a mirror, and the neighborhood saw her true colors.